Greetings and welcome back to the lab. Let's talk Halloween. Yes, it's the beginning of October, but if you want to do planning and build anything for Halloween, this is about the time you should be doing it, maybe even earlier. I'm still kind of working on how planning projects for holidays works out. So I've got Thanksgiving and Christmas to work on, so if Halloween turns out to be too short a schedule, I'll learn from that. Anyway, I went to the dollar store and found a few things. So I wanted to show you what I came up with and a little bit of what I'm planning. So let's first bring out the skulls. And here they are. Two different, I think it's the same mold. And these are actually set up as drink, what do they call them? Tumblers, I guess. So there's a piece that'll screw on the top and the straw goes through it. You can fill it with water or whatever your favorite Halloween drink is and enjoy it. But I'm thinking I could cut the top off of this, and I've got a really decent mold of a skull, and it looks like the eyes are almost perfect for 5mm LEDs. So let's see about that. I've got a few of them here. Just happen to have them on the desk, and I just want to see how well that fits. So we can do this so that I can go close up for you and show you what that looks like. Hopefully it's not too shiny. I also have the other one I can use as a reference. That is kind of a cool paint job, but it's cheap and it's scratched in various places, so it's just not. I wanted to see what that looks like, and I think that's going to work out just about right. My thinking is that since mostly on Halloween you end up seeing black and orange, and in order to represent that in lights, LEDs, they usually use purple or ultraviolet if you can get them. So I've ordered some ultraviolet lights. That's among the things that I've ordered up. And we'll see once they come in how bright they are, how much I have to drive them. But I'm thinking it'd be pretty easy to poke a couple of holes in here. The hard part's going to be trying to get my fingers in there and try and push the LEDs through from the other side. The other option is to cut out the bottom here. And I haven't done a whole lot of this kind of stuff, so I don't know how easy or hard this is going to be, but I wanted to give it a try. Now if I can get my fingers in here and I can get them back out, and I can put a couple of LEDs in here. I can put batteries and just kind of drop them in through the top. I was thinking if I cut the top off, I could 3D print something to go on top of this whole skull. Maybe something funny for Halloween, or something scary. But that's kind of my thinking, to make some light up skulls, and I'm going to have a whole display of various different things. So I figured if you can imagine a couple of them on either side of something. I could have just the one skull here and another one off in the distance, something like that. So kind of imagine this is my display area. And, well, it's going to be a much bigger display area than that. I have an area out in the garden, and if you want to see the garden stuff, that's on another one of my channels. I'll link all my channels down below so you can see what other stuff I do. Let's see, what next? Okay, well, we've got skulls. We've got the head. How about the forearms? I bought tongs. It's just an interesting, it just says skeleton tongs on the thing. So these are way too shiny and plasticky to look like a Halloween. I mean, except maybe for a kid, it's scary just seeing a skeleton. But I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I want to learn how to do some like model painting kind of stuff like you would do for a prop for a movie or something. I don't expect this to come out great, but Halloween, it's dark, so I can hide my sins in the darkness, so to speak. That's kind of what I'm thinking is I'll get these painted up, and then I will just stick them in the ground. I'll only be sticking up, maybe that much from where my hands are, so that you see like somebody got buried in the yard there. That's just a thought. If you got other ideas, please chime in. I'd like to see what other people come up with. But, I mean, this is all from a dollar store. And it's not $1. Dollar stores are no longer $1, but they are cheap stuff. These are actually fairly rigid. So I think they're going to hold up to some abuse just trying to paint them and handle them and not have to be so worried about being careful with them. And then I'll be able to, I mean, because they seem fairly sturdy this way, I should be able to essentially dig a hole in the ground, fill it back in, and then just jam these in there so that they'll stand up. So I think that's going to work. So that's what I got on that one. And another idea I had was a cat almost this size. I mean, if that's a human skull, that's a baby, probably. So I was thinking about a cat, an evil cat, the traditional black cat for Halloween. So I wanted to do a black cat, but I wanted to make it full-sized. I wanted it 3D printed. I wanted to give it the same sort of eye treatment, just make it kind of evil. But unfortunately, I figured out how long it was going to take to print the cat. So now my thinking is, well, if we've got Junior here and we got his brother, then why can't we have a kitten? So an evil kitten is the thinking. And if I can get that printed, which is just about the height of the cat and trying to make it make sense, and then be able to load it up with the electronics. And there's other things I'd like to do, but I need to scale it back enough to make sure I can get it done. And then if there's extra time, add features. But while I was thinking about that, and while I was out buying this stuff, I found one more that I have to show you. My neighbor has dogs. Actually, several neighbors have dogs, but dogs that I'm very familiar with. And whenever he's out of town, I walk the dogs for him. And I was walking through the dollar store, and this was a bit more than $1, but we got a skeleton of a dog I can put here, which isn't really going to demonstrate much to you, so that's why I got it tilted this way so you can kind of see. And it's got the little demo button that you can click. So I'm going to go ahead and click this and try and hold it up a little bit closer to the mic so you can hear it. Okay, now, the interesting thing about this is, if you look on the back here, I should be able to pull out this switch, and there is an on-off switch here, and the batteries go in there, and I'll just make sure the batteries are charged up for Halloween. But if I turn this on now, you're going to hear our friend. I can't really lie him down all that well, but if I go motionless, he should shut up. Wait a minute. Is this a 3-position switch? There may be an in-between here. Or if I give it motion, I guess where I was playing with it earlier, and motion is a thing. I am now looking closer to see if I see any signs of... Doesn't even say on. Oh, okay. You shut up. I don't know what happened there, but let's see. If I move my hand, there we go. We do have some kind of proximity or motion detection. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm going to go ahead and turn him off so he doesn't annoy people. But the LEDs are not perfectly placed. This is a similar idea to what I'm talking about with the skull. The LEDs are not perfectly placed. I would like to relocate them if I can, but that looks like it might be more work than it's worth. So this one might just go out in the yard in that same display. Maybe we have him standing over his master. Something like that. And so if I could figure out how the motion or proximity control works, I might be able to hack into it and then be able to hook it up to this. So when the dog goes off, so do the lights in the skull. So that was one of my thoughts. Was I could have that, and then what I could do I could have the other skull along with the tongs, something like that. Let me put that aside. Trying to hold everything is a little tricky. So imagine the tongs, the arms being like this, probably further apart, like that. Something so it looks like this person got buried up to their neck. So I don't know. Just my thoughts for Halloween. I'll let you know in an update what happens with the idea for 3D printing the evil kitten. And, we'll see where we go from there. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.